let's check out this video. The most evil game for MS-DOS. I'm genuinely curious about this. I remember watching a video, I posted on my Discord, like the most vile antagonist in media. And yeah, with that one, I agree. I don't know if this one is by the same creator, honestly, but I'm just curious about this. Epileptics, maybe chill out on watching this with me, okay?
Darkseed is a horror point-and-click adventure game that was released in 1992 by Cyberdreams, and it is evil. The game features disturbing imagery, eldritch themes, and even the game's box art holds a dark secret. But none of that is why it's evil.
What do you mean holds a dark secret? Is it like... Because like the way I see it right now, it seems like H.R. Geiger inspired. Maybe H.R. Geiger actually did some art for this, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. Because this looks very, very much like his style, right? But other than that, I don't really see anything. But I guess we'll see.
It's evil because it has an in-game clock that will try to fuck with you at every possible turn. You think I'm kidding? In retrospect, I think some of the elements put into the game to make it more challenging weren't fair to the player, said Mike Dawson, the game designer. The biggest problem was that it wouldn't be clear to the player that he could no longer win the game, said Mike Dawson.
Oh, that is just... That is trash. That's so bad. That's like the same thing as that one section in RE6 earlier, where we played as Sherry, where we had to find out the passcode, so we had to go through the section stealthily. But if we got caught, the game wouldn't tell you it's game over. The game would continue, but it was basically over. You had no chance of seeing that passcode, so you had to die. It just didn't tell... Oh, that's so bad. That's actually what is the only common game for 80s or 90s, mostly point-and-click adventures. Yeah, and that is bad game design, straight up. If you don't know you lost the game, that and you just continue playing in hopes of finishing it, but then you never can, that's bad game design.
You see, once you softlock yourself in Darkseed, there's absolutely no indication that you're fucked until you get very far into the game. You could...
But, I thought the most evil game for MS-DOS, I thought that has to do with its themes, villain, whatever, that it's actually just a messed up, fucked up game. It seems to be that it's just the game's mechanics working against you. Maybe there's still something coming.
Softlock yourself in Darkseed, there's absolutely no indication that you're fucked until you get very far into the game. You could miss a humble goddamn speck on the floor in the library on day one just to find out that you needed that pixel at the end of the game, but oh, it's too late in the afternoon, the library's closed, please completely restart the entire game.
Oh, that's bad. What the fuck? At least Morrowind tells you that you killed an essential character. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's wild.
I know some people probably cursed at their computers more than once because of it, said Mike Dawson. Now, around these parts, we do like to discuss the deep and compelling narratives of games. Darkseed doesn't really have that, but it is still a really cool game to take a look at. It had a pretty interesting development. The team was quite small, with only 3 people that were mostly responsible for it: Mike Dawson, Patrick Ketchum, and John Krause. Darkseed was the very first game that Cyberdreams would ever put out, and they wanted to do it right. They figured that if they could secure a really big, famous, high-profile name to attach to their project, that the prestige of that person would carry their product far. According to CU Amiga magazine, Cyberdreams claimed to have invested over $600,000 into the game, with most of that going directly to this famous person.
That is what? Fucking The Rock. That is wild though. 600,000. That was not normal for games back then to cost that much, right? Happened again. America was James Bond, the stealth of era. This particular scenery, you have to click on it. If you don't click one into the game, you're completely incapable of finishing the game. Yeah, that's just bad design. That's bad, guys. This kind of stuff is bad. Believe it or not.
So what celebrity was it that Cyberdreams was so keen on getting involved? That's right, H.R. Giger.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
The guy that designed this. Giger is a world-famous artist with a very recognizable and detailed style. His works often depict...
Yeah, it's super recognizable to me. Hampshire Checker. Same as Junji Ito, for example. I keep, whenever I see something, like, you may have seen me compare some different kinds of artworks to Junji Ito's style, because they're just very recognizable styles. Giger style, Junji Ito style.
Otherworldly biomechanical creatures and worlds. Also penises. A lot of them. Another
True.
fun fact about Giger is that he died falling down the stairs. While no original works from Giger were made specifically for Darkseid 1, Cyberdreams was given permission to use a lot of his library as they saw fit. If
I
it
see.
met a high standard that Giger would approve of. Darkseid has a very unique look to it, with a very dull, desaturated, and muted color palette. You see, Giger was quite concerned about how his artwork would appear in the game, reportedly disliking the square and jagged look that most games of that time had. Cyberdreams decided to sacrifice some of the color from the game to ensure that it could be as high of a resolution as possible. Now,
Is that a thing? Was that a limitation with MS-DOS? So it was like a gamble between color and detail? That you could only, like, you know, you had to, like, yeah? That's interesting. That's really interesting. That doesn't make much sense to me, because, like, pixels are pixels, right? You can just color them any way you want, I guess. But, like, for example, thinking about, like, 8-bit, the NES, for example, you know, it had a very limited color palette, but it also had a very limited amount of pixels on screen, and it, like, had to work with both and could use both to its fullest extent or not. You know, it's hard for me to grasp that hardware had only so many bits. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, true. Here's the fence. Many of the penises were baby shaped. That's in its defense, theory. That's a wild statement. An image with 4 bits per pixel could have twice as many pixels as 8 bits per pixel. Yeah. I see. I had heard about a game that will soft lock you much later if you cheat. Yeah, but that's different. I love creative anti-cheat measures, or like if games detect that you've cracked them, or yeah, that you're using a cracked copy, or that you cheat, and they will punish you for that in creative ways. I love that. Pokemon is one of them, for example. I think, was it the original? No, not the original. One of the Pokemon games, you need to go on a ship at some point in the game and travel somewhere, but if the game detects that it's a cheated copy or like an illegal copy or something like that, you will not be able to go on the ship because you're missing the ticket, but you can't get the ticket anywhere. So you're soft locked. You cannot progress the story. And that's cool. I love such creative, anti-cheat measures. Crack copy of Alan Wake, you can play the entire game. He's just wearing an eye patch.
Now, some of Giger's artworks have a little bit of a dark history behind them, particularly the art of Darkseid's cover. The painting used for the cover is called Lee 2. The face shown in this image is that of Giger's late girlfriend, Lee Tobler. This particular painting was done of her just a year before she tragically took her own life in Giger's home at only 27 years old. With that in mind,
Fuck.
and it's pretty interesting that this was the artwork chosen to represent a character in the game, as well as be the literal face of Darkseid.
To my defense, when I praise the cover, it looks fucking cool, okay? But I would expect creators of a game, maybe they didn't do it much back then, but I would expect creators of a game to do the tiniest bit of research into what they're using. This is wild.
Giger's involvement in the game almost guaranteed its success, but with most of the budget going directly to him, the actual game itself was put together with quite little. One of the ways the team saved money was with the game's protagonist. He is played by Mike Dawson, voiced by Mike Dawson, and created by Darkseid's game designer, Mike Dawson. Mike had this to say.
But that's fair, right? If the game was made by 3 people, yeah, of course one of them is gonna be the voice actor or whatever. Modeled after him, I mean, yeah, sure, but, you know, of course one of them is gonna be the voice actor.
About the role when interviewed. I needed to get a concept document out on the game and was working on it until last minute as usual. I had put my name in for the main character as a placeholder, and as an inside joke for the few of us at the company. I fully intended to come up with something else at some point, but when my boss saw it, he liked it and said we had to keep the name. I think this decision was based primarily on money. If I played the part, we wouldn't need to hire and pay a real actor. Similarly, other characters in the game were portrayed by other team members and in one case a girlfriend. Giger was really the only well-known name involved. Well, I mean, Mike Dawson apparently went on to write a whopping 2 episodes of Family Matters in 1998, so yeah, I don't know, this is making the big leagues. Ultimately, despite its flaws, the game was actually pretty well received and did good, so I'm going to force you to listen to me talk about it. This game is-
Oh, that was just the intro? Holy shit. I also saw the next recommended video is Darkseid's unbelievable sequel from that same creator. Just based on that alone, I can guess that it was probably successful, and so now I'm even more curious. What's really wrong with this game? Okay, it locks people out, cool. What else is there? You know, there are 20 more videos, 20 more minutes to this video. I'm curious. I want to know. So going on my to get list. Are you ever gonna play them if they can like literally lock you out of the game if you miss one speck of dust? I don't know. I have played worse. Me too. Doesn't mean I still want to play something bad. Or not, maybe the game isn't necessarily bad, but like these design decisions are, you know?
So much of a narrative as it's an experience, so let me tell you of my journey with Darkseid. Darkseid opens with a beautiful mustached man's forehead ussy being gently spread open. This is why I don't get sponsorships. The man
They opened up a VV in his forehead and put semen into that. That's wild.
Darkseid opens with a beautiful mustached man's forehead ussy being gently spread open. This is why I don't get sponsorships. The man's head is then injected with some...
Oh no, and it drips too! Oh no! Oh, why? Why?
seed. Dark seed. Look, don't shoot the messenger, alright? I'm just telling you what happens.
That sure was some nightmare. It even left me with a monster headache.
Mike's struggling with a headache after that forehead pregnancy dream, and boy does he let you know.
My head is killing me. My head feels like it's going to explode. These nightmares have given me a mean headache. It seems like I've had this headache since I moved in. Boy, my head hurts.
Okay, I get it, Michael. I'll get you into the shower and feed you a delicious breakfast of Tylenol. The Tylenol helps Mike shut the hell up about his headaches, and now I can actually get him to focus on other things. Apparently, he just bought this house and hasn't really had much of a chance to look around yet. Time to explore. In the spare room, there's an old closet that seems kind of interesting.
There is a bulge in the pocket of the trench coat.
You know I can't resist investigating a bulge. Ah, sweet, we got a library card. Downstairs, the doorbell is ringing and I deeply regret answering it. It seems that the mailman has a package for us that we weren't expecting. What in
the
the
fuck?
Annabelle Anna hell is that?
What
oh
the-
god, it's gonna kill me in my
What?
sleep.
Is that... I wanted to make an Eraserhead joke until I remembered the baby there looked much more fucked up than this. Squeaking Geiger is not winning! Apparently Ridley Scott managed to squeak... Wait, what? By suggesting they put live maggots into the... Uh-huh. 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 Okay.
Isn't it? Welp, I'm going to be ignoring that. These blueprints are perfect for distracting myself from the existential dread of the baby package. Would you look at that? It appears that there are some secret passages. The secret passages are really annoying, but we'll get back to that later. I continued wandering through the mysterious house, and I'd be a goddamn disgrace to the rich and beautiful culture of point-and-click adventure gaming if I didn't pick up everything that wasn't bolted down. Give me those gloves. In the attic is a trunk that I opened with a crowbar, then accidentally clicked in the wrong spot and had to reopen it with the crowbar. Inside is an ominous note from the previous owner of the house.
And that's to reopen it with the crowbar. Nice. Tried it, but they went to sleep under studio lighting. Oh, wait, actually, now that I read this, you might have told me this before. Just not in this fucked up way.
Had to reopen it with the crowbar. Inside is an ominous note from the previous owner of the house. Apparently, he also experienced terrible headaches. The note mentions reality shifting back and forth before his very eyes. Uh-oh. That kind of sounds like the baby package. The paper then goes on about him hiding a mirror in the garage for fear that something could come through it to attack him from the other side. Toward the bottom, the note begins talking about ancients trying to come to our world, but the rest of the page is torn off. Eventually, I ran out of luck finding things to stuff in my pockets inside the house, so it was time to check out the town.
The road seems strangely empty and unoccupied.
Despite Mike seeming kind of suspicious, I found the walk into town to be quite calming and pleasant.
What
Yeah.
a quaint general store with a little bit of everything for day-to-day existence.
Oh, hell yeah!
The way he's phrasing it sounds like he's there for the first time, like he just moved there. What a quaint general store, you know?
Yeah, they got soy sauce in here. We're gonna be okay. In fact, there were lots of delicious goods available, but we have limited funds. And in the end, the alcohol won. Kinda like in Stray Souls.
That's the last bottle of scotch. Boy, Delbert's gonna be mad.
Oh, fuck, that better not be Delbert.
Hi, you must be Mike. I'm your neighbor, Delbert. Why don't we get together tomorrow? I'll meet you outside your place at 6. You're a writer, huh? I'm a lawyer by trade. Why don't you take one of my cards?
Well, Delbert really didn't seem that mad, and in fact, he seemed quite pleasant. I wonder what kind of card he gave me. Let's take a look. A literal get out of jail free card. Oh, I get it. He's a Monopoly enthusiast. Oh, wait, never mind. He's a lawyer. That makes sense too. I'm gonna head next door to the police station, where I make the worst mistake of my life.
A gun in a holster.
Oh no.
You see that? I just fucked myself. We'll get back to this later. At least I had fun touching the desk a billion times. I guess I'll check out.
Is that one of the soft locks? Is that like picking up the gun will lock him out of, like, I don't know, getting help from the police later and then soft locking the game, or is that it?
The library and make the second worst mistake I've ever made in my life.
Looking at the fountain makes me very thirsty.
Drink it, Michael, you coward. Oh, mama, there's a hot lady in the library, so naturally I tried to poke her.
That would be very impolite. The sort of thing your former coworker Larry would have tried to do.
I guess I'll show her that library card I found.
This card really should be kept with the book. You'll find that one in aisle C. It's the one with the green cover.
Well, wouldn't you know it, there's a scrap of paper in the book. It tells us that some guy named Tuttle swallowed a key and then had a stroke and died. What an icon. Why do I get the feeling we're gonna need that key? And where would we find it? The cemetery is a good place to start, and you just know there's gonna be weird jokes when you click on the headstones.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd. He was no tribble at all. She's far beyond anyone's reach.
Why is that such a common thing in games?
Really interesting here.
Why is it such a common thing in games to make fun of names on graves? Or either that, or the names are of the actual developers.
It warns us time and time again not to disturb the dead.
Don't disturb the dead.
I can't touch that. Have I no respect for the dead?
Which is weird because 5 seconds later, I was required to do this.
Great. Now I have Grandpa Pat all over me.
At least we have the key that note was talking about, I guess. The key unlocks a grandfather clock in the house, which gives us the name John McKeegan. Unfortunately, at this point in time, that name means nothing to me, so I guess I'll just
You know what's a little disappointing to me about this video right now? It started off as this sort of documentary into the creation of it, into why it's evil with Giger and whatever. But that was just the intro, and now that the video actually started, it's just a complete breakdown of the entire game, start to finish. I don't know. I mean, I find it interesting, it's just not really what I expected. But I do find it interesting, I want to keep going.
looking at shit.
A masterpiece of the macabre. Its eyes follow me relentlessly.
Probably to get to the point by the end of it. Yeah, but I don't know. There are plenty of videos that do this exact thing, but I'm just not a big fan of it. And especially, it seems a really big thing nowadays to just like completely break down a game start to finish, or a movie or whatever. And that's basically the entire video. I appreciate that there was already more, and there will probably be more later, I hope at least. But that is always a little disappointing to me, because I want more than that. I want more than just a breakdown of this piece. I want more, you know?
There's a weird mirror in the living room, kind of like the one that Paper mentioned was moved to the garage because horrific eldritch creatures might be coming from it. Huh. There's an
essay is only as good as it's concise. I guess what I'm trying to get at is I like video essays, and this doesn't feel like a video essay to me. This just feels like a beat-by-beat breakdown of what the game is, of how it plays, of its story, we basically play the game alongside him. Basically, it's like almost like a glorified Let's Play with voiceover. You know, it doesn't feel like a video essay. I like video essays. I like more effort. Does that make sense? I do find it interesting though. I want to see where it's going.
note. Mr. Dawson, we moved the mirror from the garage as directed, but noticed that there's a piece cracked off from the corner. We didn't do it. Really? We'll let you know if it turns up. Sincerely, Timothy. God damn it, Timothy. You broke the fucking alien mirror. Ugh, this is upsetting. I'm going to bed.
That face.
Another nightmare, another morning, another headache, another shower, another mega dose of
Holy shit, wait. Is this thing here, this like extra piece here, is that his dick? Because damn, man is packing. Holy.
Tylenol down the hatch. Downstairs, the doorbell is ringing.
To be fair though, having an insane point-and-click adventure game, you can't really break down how it plays without realistically showing it. No, you have to show it, yes, but you don't have to go through the entire game and explain everything you do as you go along just to get to a point. You can pick out specific moments to illustrate your points, if you have any, that is. You know, that's what I mean.
What kind of horrific package awaits this time? Oh, it looks like the movers found the piece of Michael's demonic error that they broke. I'll just pop that right back into the mirror. No stupid document warning of monsters coming through it is gonna stop me. I'm not stuck in the house with this mirror. This mirror is stuck in the house with me. Monsters want to come into my house? Nuh-uh.
Didn't talk about the Magnum
This
bomb.
is the other world. I love a good game that features a hellish dark world that resembles our world in disturbing ways. Here in this other world is where we'll really start to see a showcase of Giger's artwork. Mike might have accidentally popped a couple Xanax instead of Tylenol this morning because he's taking this whole situation very well. He has absolutely no problem navigating around and exploring this horrific alien ship.
Just like any Silent Hill protagonist, just like... honestly, most Resident Evil protagonists, they just don't give a fuck. They just see things, they're like, oh, guess there's zombies now. Oh fuck, guess I'm in hell now. Cool, let's move on, let's kill those monsters that are suddenly appearing out of nowhere.
This wall of skulls seems to be almost alive.
As I progressed through the game, I came across a teleporter.
Cool.
I feel like a cold wind just ran through my bones. That machinery hum sets my teeth on edge.
Unfortunately, I
They're
got a little
depressed.
stuck here because
They're depressed as fuck, they don't even care anymore for real.
I was too stupid to realize the puzzle that this room requires to go forward. You see, the alien world is a literal reflection of Mike's house since it's inside of a mirror. If you don't leave the doors of the secret passages open in the house, the doors will be locked shut inside the other world. Now, in my defense,
Okay, that is kind of clever, but how would you ever guess that? But that is kind of clever, I like that.
the secret passages aren't ever locked in the house or anything like that. They just shut behind you when you go through them, so it never occurred to me to turn around and just leave them hanging open. Because, you know, aside from pretty much just this door, you can freely go in and out of every other door in the game, so... I don't know. Honestly,
Okay, yeah.
The other world is kind of a little bit bullshit. There's a lot of convoluted moon logic and an unfathomable amount of ways to softlock yourself here. The other world also really is quite fond of just killing me with absolutely no warning. Damn, I'm sorry that I pulled a lever that obviously needs to be pulled. Silly me.
I had that same problem with I have no mouth and I must sleep. And I must speak. Sorry. I have no mouth and I must speak, right? That's what it was. I tried playing it. I really wanted to, but I gave up pretty early on. I think I got like, I must scream, not speak. 35 minutes in. I tried. I genuinely tried playing it in December, not even a year ago. I really wanted to get into it. And it is basically a point-and-click adventure, but you can choose between different characters. And the one that I chose, I just couldn't progress because it felt like everything I did just killed me. Oh, you're in this kitchen. That smells weird. Let's explore some. Oh, you're dead. You go into this other room. It looks like some kind of control room. You pull a lever. Oh, you're dead. You know? It just felt frustrating, so I dropped it. And it's such a shame because I really wanted to play this. It's such a shame.
Should have put on gloves that I picked up a long-ass time ago first. Also, what the hell is that, and why is there a frame of just his little feet being spawned in first? It's kind of cute, I guess.
Not the footsies.
All my gut feelings tell me not to go in there. However, nothing ventured.
Ah, come on, game. What could be so bad in there? Whoa, cool. An alien. I'm gonna poke it in the face.
You have dared to touch an ancient. You die.
I could not have possibly foreseen that outcome. Turns out this
Exactly.
whole area
That is so frustrating.
was for me to pick up a shovel. Why these biomechanical aliens would have a dead-ass normal human Earth shovel just laying on the ground is something I can't explain to you. But I mean, fuck it, I'll take what I can get.
I guess the game couldn't figure out a way to give you a shovel in any other way, like, for example, his garage or something? I don't know.
I headed back to the normal world and thought to myself, where could I use a shovel? Aha! The graveyard, of course.
Oh.
Mike Dawson goes in for round 2 of grave defilement. You
True.
see, the grave matches the name that was
Wait, didn't he earlier say to let the dead rest or something like that? To not touch them? What the hell?
inside of the grandfather clock, which means it must belong to the previous owner of the house. The grave contains the second half of the note that we read earlier. The note details how the previous owner also used the mirror to travel to the dark world. Upon realizing that the dark world held horrific sleeping ancient aliens, he tried his best to break the mirror to stop them from coming through, but he found it to be unbreakable. However, in the alien world, he did find an item that he was able to at least chip the corner of the mirror away with. He theorizes that perhaps there must be a way to turn this item into a tool that could break the mirror once and for all. Well, damn, I guess Timothy really didn't break it.
By the way, there is this horror movie I have to think about right now because that also features a mirror very prominently. It's called Oculus. I really liked it. It was like you would expect it to be like one of those like typical like standard like horror movies that are just like, you know, run of the mill stuff. But it was actually pretty good.
Once again, in the note, there's a strong emphasis that the real world is directly tied with the world inside of the mirror. The author notes that in order to halt the alien's progress, he had to let his car fall apart and hide the keys. He also makes sure to mention that the police station specifically is very strongly mirrored in the other world. From here on out, pretty much everything we do is going to be a puzzle of how we can change things in the real world to affect the other world. Now, in the real world,
I like that they affect each other in such a way that they are deeply tied together, because that's not really a thing in, for example, Silent Hill.
We did actually dig up a real grave and, well, the popo don't like that.
You're under arrest, Mr. Dawson. Come with me.
What a cold and uninviting place. I never thought I'd be spending a night in here.
This entire section of the game is a soft lock nightmare. This is the
Yeah, I was about to say, he said spend the night in there. At first I thought, okay, wait, is this now soft locked, just in jail and can't do anything? But like, he said spend the night in there, so what's going on?
In here.
This entire section of the game is a soft lock nightmare. This is the part of the game where the evil clock begins its reign of terror. You are allotted about 1 real hour per day in Darkseed to complete puzzles and explore. The game is riddled with events that happen at specific times, and if you're not there on that screen to witness them when they happen, get fucked. I hope you die. Now, in the jail cell, we'll need to hide a few items under the pillow so that they carry over to the other world. Some cash, our gloves, and that's weird.
How would you know that though? That's insane.
I continued to play the game for a good amount of time and, well, it appears I'm missing an item because I couldn't progress past a certain point. Apparently, there is an item I was missing that needs to be hidden under the pillow. Are you ready for some bullshit? So, to deal with the alien police station that the ripped-off note mentioned, Michael needs a hairpin. Do you know where I find the hairpin? Go on, take a real good look. Do you see a hairpin in this image? It's there.
Is it this thing here? It does kind of stand out. If you look at if you only concentrate on the floor, this little dark bit it kind of stands out, I guess, but
game never comments on it, never alludes to it, never makes it clear that you need it. It's right here. This spec. Here's where I run into my next problem.
yeah, but you would never, like, I saw it just now because it was basically pushed into my face, right? Where could it possibly be? And that was the one, like, those, like, 3 pixels kind of stood out to me. But I would never have noticed that in my life in a regular playthrough. That's wild. I thought it's a hole in the floor.
I can't get into the library because I took too long to realize that I needed that specific pixel. The library is now closed. I had a bunch of rotated saves, but the clock situation was all fucked up because I was exploring, and it was just easier to completely restart the game at this point to collect my dumbass hairpin. With the hairpin now collected and hidden under the pillow, it's time to get the hell out of this cell. I smacked a cup.
Thought it's a rendering artifact. That's wild. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, like the game. It's like, yeah.
On the jail cell bars to get the policeman's attention. Hey, would you look at that? If you poke him, it annoys him. You can do this endlessly. What great fun. Now, do you remember when we bought the last bottle of scotch from the store and that guy came in and he was supposed to be pissed off about it, but he gave us a literal get out of jail free card instead? Yeah, this seems like a good time to use that. And just like that, we're free. I guess the alcohol was a better investment than that soy sauce after all. With Mike now freed from the oppressive chains of incarceration, I noticed in the police station lobby that the gun I had picked up earlier is back on the wall. And I can't seem to pick it up. Apparently, there's no way for me to take it back because the police officer is watching over it. This is a soft lock.
No, wait, so that means because you got into jail? Wait, does that mean you got into jail? That means you lost the gun? But because you got into jail, you can't pick up the gun anymore? And softlock yourself. Is
not allowed to touch the gun before getting arrested or it becomes unavailable, and yes, it
okay, you have to do it before getting arrested, okay.
is a necessary item. I had taken the gun really early on in the game, so be right back. I guess I'm starting again.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts because it counts as an already picked up item. Oh, that hurts.
Okay, I'm back. I have the hairpin, I have the gun. Now I just have to beat the in-game clock to be around in the backyard when the guy that gave us the get out of jail free card comes by, so I can watch him play with his dog and immediately steal the dog's stick the second he's gone. Now I can use the stick to convince this fucking freak to jump off of a bridge. Now
This fucking freak out of nowhere.
we can finally access the alien jail.
The main lobby of an alien jail. They could use a new decorator.
So that's where my gun went. You're going to rot for a few centuries, human.
So this alien world has humanoids that speak English and that have like human mannerisms. I see.
Alien graffiti scars the walls. No one who enters here ever leaves alive.
If you touch the gun too early on in the game, the alien just simply shoots and kills you.
I really don't need to take the pillow. I have enough of them at home.
But Michael, this is an alien pillow. You're not looking at the big picture here. I pull my bobby pin and other items out from under the pillow and pick the lock. But nothing happens. My blood ran cold. My fight or flight response was activated. Was I seriously going to have to play the game all over again? Oh no, the game's just trolling. You have to try it twice.
A long
Oh, what the fuck?
order leading to freedom.
Oh god, what the hell is that? Oh, please don't kill me.
Greetings, human. I am Sargo, prisoner of this dungeon for 9 years. I am prepared to give you the gift of invisibility in exchange for my freedom.
Alright, Sargo. I mean, I guess you can have my bobby pin. I mean, I worked really hard for it, but Mike Dawson being imbued with the power of invisibility sounds cool as fuck. Honestly, an invisibility headband is an insane trade for one bobby pin, even if it will only apparently work once.
The sign over the doorway, if you could read it, would tell you this is the Dreketh's Guards Recruitment Center.
Voice doesn't sound like I'd imagine a Giger-esque monstrosity to sound. Yep, same, but we already know that it was only made by 3 people and they acted as like the voice actors as well, and like it was pretty cheaply made, so I can look past that.
If you could read it, would tell you this is the Dreketh's Guards Recruitment Center.
Well, thank God the narrator is here to metagame information to me. This sounds like the perfect time to put on the invisibility headband. Oh, excuse me, my little egg-shaped friend. I'm just gonna sneak right past you.
You're in the Great Archive Chamber. Many of the ancient secrets are available here for those who know how to access them.
For those who know how to access it, huh? Well, clicking the secret archive once ought to do.
Greetings, Michael. I've been sending you messages over the radio. The ancients have implanted an alien embryo into your brain.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw them impregnate my brain. We saw that. Yep.
If born, this creature will destroy you and all of mankind. You must find the ancients' power source and destroy it. Also, the police in your world are under the control of the ancients. Avoid them at all costs. Hurry, and good luck.
Damn, that's just a straight up. That's just a straight up like little dump of everything. And now peace out. Good luck.
The mysterious Keeper of Scrolls has given us a card that we'll have to find a use for elsewhere. For now, it's time to head back to the normal world and get some sleep.
Hi, Pearl. Welcome.
Both my headache and these nightmares are getting worse.
All right, everyone, you already know the drill. Shower, Tylenol.
With his massive schlong again, look at that
Getting
thing.
worse.
Look
All
at
right,
that
everyone,
thing.
You already know the drill. Shower.
There, look at that thing. It's just hanging here to the side. Bro is packing.
Tylenol. Persist against the horrors. A morning routine we can all relate to. Today, I had to head back to the library to use the card that the computer lady gave me. The card that holds the ancient secrets. The card states that it's an ingenious idea to hide your valuables beneath the flagstone of your home's cellar. Could this be a hint on what to do next? I think I know where to go. That's right, the grocery store. Mama needs more scotch. Oh, and I guess I can head home to check out the cellar too. Upon arriving home, there's yet another delivery. For some reason, someone sent me an axe handle. Thank you, mysterious benefactor. And you could be a mysterious benefactor too if you visit my Ko-fi and send me a little tip. To get to the cellar, I had to go through the kitchen, and the delivery from Mike of this line is very good.
I better not eat anything coming from this kitchen until the cleaning lady has disinfected it.
All I need to do in the
Damn.
cellar is look beneath the flagstone and grab a car key. Then it's back up to the kitchen.
This stove is hissing, and there's a faint smell of gas here. I bet the pilot light is out.
Brother, that's ungood. You might want to call somebody about that sooner than later.
The refrigerator doesn't seem to be running. A strange odor seems to be coming from inside.
You guys, this is huge. We got another stinky fridge in a horror game. Add that to the list. All we really have left to do is attempt to stop the aliens and break the mirror once and for all. Inside of the other world, I go through a bunch of convoluted bullshit to put together a magnificent hammer that could kill God himself. Mike Dawson is now a master blacksmith. My girthy hammer ought to take care of destroying the mirror. But what of fucking up the aliens' plans?
Remember, anything seen in the mirror is not real. Only the mirror itself is real.
This might sound kind of odd, but that hint was pointing me in the direction of pouring scotch into the car in the garage's gas tank and starting it up.
Not smashing the mirror with a hammer? What the fuck?
If I leave the car on, the alien ship in the other world will also be powered on. From here, it's really just a matter of pushing a button and sending the aliens back to the Lord.
Engage the main engine startup sequence.
Later, losers. And just to make sure the little fellas can't come back,
There.
I'll smash the mirror once and for all. Dark Seed has been completed. Or
Finally. I don't know. That's one reason why I don't really play point and click adventures, especially older ones. Is just they are so needlessly like out there. Like the puzzles seem impossible to solve unless you look them up. It's just so, yeah.
has it. Let's watch the final scene.
I'm not really sure why I'm here, but I just felt drawn to you. I know it sounds strange, but what's even more strange is that I found these pills in my purse. It's a prescription filled in your name for relief of severe headaches.
I'm just beginning to understand.
Yeah, that's really it.
Wait,
That's the ending.
that is it. So she just had his pills and he's beginning to understand, and that's it.
The librarian comes over to Mike's house and offers him some prescription medication. For a brief moment, her face flashes that of the Keeper of the Scrolls. All of this implies that perhaps the medication is for Mike's forehead baby, and perhaps he's not as finished with the aliens as he thinks. Lo and behold, there is indeed a Darkseid 2. If this video goes over well, I'll check out that game in the near future too. Darkseid 2 is somehow even weirder and some good old-fashioned bizarre FMV fun. I'm really bad at outros, but thank you for watching. If you
Yeah, so really, what I expected from this video, the most evil game for MS-DOS, like an actual explanation, actual something of why this game is so evil, of why this game is so weird, so whatever. I didn't get any of that. We got like the first 5 minutes where it was like a little bit of a breakdown of the development, of like how they got gear involved and stuff. That was cool. But the rest was just like playing the game front to back and okay, goodbye. That's such a shame. I feel like there was so much more potential for a video essay with more effort. But yeah, interesting game. Would have loved to have more background or an actual point being made in this video. Hearing about that game makes me even more sad that Douglas Adams died so young. He had the knack for constructing adventure games that were fiendishly complicated without actually preventing progress. But there are also plenty of older point-and-click games that are complicated without preventing progress, but they're just annoyingly complicated to the point where it's like, how the frick would I ever figure this out? How would I ever know how to do this? To do this? I had that problem, for example, in one of the greats. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis is considered one of the greatest point-and-click adventures ever. I played through it because I was really curious and I really liked it. But some of the puzzles made me just think, what the hell? Because I looked them up. What the hell? How was I ever supposed to guess this? How was I ever supposed to know I have to do this, you know? And that's just frustrating.